we consider when we are choosing a particular method to apply when we are teaching? What are we supposed to look at? Which things should we consider when we are selecting a particular method when we are teaching? So one of the things that we should look at when we are selecting a method, we should look at which method fits my main lesson aims. So when I'm going to teach a subject today, for example, I'm going to teach RE, Religious Education. I have to look at my aims. What are the aims for the lecture? What are the aims for the lesson that I'm going to conduct today? What am I targeting in my learners? Are together? What am I targeting in my learners? So I have to look at the method which can bring out my aims clearly. I have to look at the method which can help me to score the goals of my lecture or my lesson altogether. So I have to see, is my main aim cognitive, effective, or behavioral? Altogether? Is the aim of my lesson cognitive, effective, or behavior? Which method will help me, will be the best method to deliver? Altogether? Which method will be the best to be used in order for me to deliver that, home to the aims of my subject, of my lesson? No, what will be the best method? If I'm going for a party, for example, you are home, you've been called for a wedding party, or a wedding ceremony, or a wedding function, whatsoever. Should I put on the garments? Will the garments bring it out? Is it okay if I'm going for a wedding party and I put on, let me say, clothes that are going for clubs? Is it okay for me to go in a club in a gomes or in a kazu? Will the kazu be applicable? Will it help me? Will it fit in what I'm going to do in that particular place? So you have to look at the method which will help you to bring out your aims clearly and you score them. 2. Which part or parts of the lessons need that specific method? When I'm teaching here, for example, the way I'm teaching here, which method can I apply or can I employ that can fit in what I am teaching you right now? Because right now, can I use grouping method? Where are the people that I am going to group? Can I use the discussion method? Because discussion involves exchanging of ideas. You bring your idea, I bring mine. Is there anyone here who can also bring the idea we share? So I have to look at which parts, and when should I apply that method. And when I'm delivering, when I'm teaching you, I should look at in my subject, during my lesson. There are some areas that I would say learners discuss, but not all that is going to be discussed. There is that will need more teachers' focus, and there is that will need us to share ideas. So you should look at such things. So some methods are better for securing interest and attention. In the introduction, I would get storytelling, questions, among others. But some are better for going through the main content or information of biblical studies, drama, among others. So not all methods that are applicable everywhere. So you should look at such things, the aims of the subject. Another one, we have which method fits the learners. So when I'm going to teach a lesson, I should look at is the method that I'm going to employ fitting my learner. That means I have to be knowing my learners. I have to be knowing my learners. One, the level of their understanding, the pace at which they understand. How do they see things before I apply a specific method? Some methods are not good for our learners. Some methods are not good for our learners. Note that all methods that are applicable, some methods should not be applied depending to the way we see our learners. Are we together? So some of the methods we would like to use when we are teaching, but when they are not really qualified, when they are not applicable, they are not good for our learners, so we should not apply them. You should now look at, is the method that I'm going to apply really fitting my learner? If my learner is a deaf person, that means the learner doesn't hear. If I say we discuss, is discussion a clear method for my learner to understand? I can do what we call illustration as a method. So I think illustration is better. When I have like a learner who is deaf, I better illustrate. Because the learner may be deaf but not blind. So if the learner is a deaf person, cannot hear, but illustration is applicable. When I illustrate things for the learner, that means the learner is fitting in the method that I've employed. Are we together? So when the learner is blind but can listen, I think when I discuss and I use the mouth to speak, then the learner will be in position of getting what I'm doing. But if I write on the board, when my learner is blind, will the learner see what I'm writing? So I have to look at, is the method I'm applying fitting my learners? If not, I have to leave the method out. Another one, we have to look at which method fits the resources that I have. So before I choose a method, I should also consider the resources I have. I may choose a method which is not in line with the resources I have. It's like when you are the cook, cooking food which is even much than the people who are going to consume the food. You have two people, you mingle 10 kilograms of posho. Can two people consume 10 kgs of posho? That means you were good to cook, but the methods, the way you do things are not good, because the food that you have prepared is not going to be consumed totally by those people. So first look at the resources I have. So all the methods take time. Others take props, others take pictures, others take scripts, others take equipments, space, etc. You need to effectively pull it off. Due to the general lack of teaching supplies in the Middle East, there will be times when you need to think creatively on how to make it happen with what you have. Can I get a draft? Do not let the lack of ideal resources limit you, your creativity. Especially look at the time, price tag, and among others. So let the scarcity, do not let the scarcity of resources make you fail to score or to use a particular method. Always stand at the side of creativity. Always be creative enough. For example, I may be in a school where when this school doesn't have some apparatus. For example, when I'm a teacher of chemistry or physics or biology, I may be in a school which doesn't have some apparatus. But as a teacher, there are some things I can do to make my practicals be achieved. I can be a teacher of IT. And in the school where I'm operating, they don't have enough computers. Should I leave learners fail because the school doesn't have computers? But if I have one computer, or I have my personal computer, the PC or the laptop, I can get a projector and I project the practicals that I'm handling on a wall whereby all learners can see. Though they cannot touch the computer, but they can see from wherever they are, and they get the same knowledge like those that are operating their operating computers. So if I go to school where there is a scarcity of materials or resources, it is not a guarantee that I should sit and I say, no, today I'm not going to teach because the school doesn't have the chalkboard, the school doesn't have the whiteboard, the school doesn't have the computer, there is no chalk. I should always look forward to solving the problem, and I should always look forward to teaching my learners, given the circumstances that there is scarcity of materials or resources. So do not let the scarcity of resources make you fail to use your methods. So always be a problem solver. Another one. Am I prepared to use a method? Before I choose a method, really, am I prepared to use the discussion method? Am I prepared to use the presentation method? Am I prepared to use the brainstorming method? Am I prepared to use the grouping method? Am I prepared to use the discussion method? So on and so forth. So some people go for a lesson, but when they're not ready to use specific methods that they think they can employ. Someone is busy teaching in class. That person just learns on the method. Remember, let us discuss. When this person is not prepared enough for those methods, please always make sure that you are in position. You prepare yourselves for methods that you want to employ during the teaching. When you are going to use discussion method, prepare for it. When you are going to use presentation method, prepare for it. So at times some teachers just come from nowhere. They use methods which they don't know. Even they don't know how to take steps when they are doing these methods, and they end up being challenged by the learners in class, which makes the lesson a failure. So those are some of the things I should consider before choosing a method when I'm teaching. I beg to submit from here. Have a good day.